Have you ever met someone who gave you just enough attention to keep you obsessed, but never enough to make you feel secure? The late-night texts, the mixed signals, the moments where they suddenly feel deeply connected to you, and then disappear emotionally without explanation. And somehow, the less available they become, the more attached you feel. That's not love, that's emotional addiction, and once you understand the psychology behind it, you'll never see toxic attraction the same way again. Emotionally unavailable people have a strange effect on us. Even when we know the relationship is hurting us, we keep going back. We replay conversations, we overanalyze messages, we wait for crumbs of affection like they mean everything. But why? Why do emotionally distant people often feel more intoxicating than people who genuinely love us? The answer has less to do with romance, and more to do with psychology, attachment, validation, and the human brain's obsession with uncertainty. Tonight, we're breaking down why emotionally unavailable people feel so addictive, and why walking away can feel like withdrawal. The brain becomes addicted to uncertainty. Human beings crave emotional certainty. But emotionally unavailable people create the opposite: unpredictability. One day they're warm, the next day they're cold. Sometimes they act deeply interested. Other times they make you feel invisible. And ironically, this inconsistency creates obsession. Because your brain starts chasing emotional reward the same way gamblers chase slot machines. You never know when the next emotional hit is coming. A sweet message suddenly feels more valuable because it's rare. A small moment of affection feels massive because it's inconsistent. Your nervous system becomes trapped in anticipation. And anticipation is addictive. You start confusing chemistry with anxiety. A lot of people think emotional intensity means connection. But anxiety can feel almost identical to attraction. Think about it, your heart races. You constantly think about them. You check your phone obsessively. You feel emotional highs and emotional crashes. That doesn't automatically mean love. Sometimes it means your nervous system is activated. Emotionally unavailable people often trigger abandonment fears without even trying. And if someone grew up feeling emotionally unseen, unpredictable love can feel strangely familiar. Not healthy, familiar. And familiarity is powerful. That's why people sometimes leave peaceful relationships for chaotic ones. Their brain mistakes emotional instability for passion. The need to win their love. One of the most dangerous parts of emotional unavailability is that it can turn love into a performance. You start believing, if I can just make them open up, then I'll finally feel worthy. So you try harder. You become more understanding, more patient, more emotionally available. You ignore your own needs hoping they'll eventually choose you fully. But this creates a painful dynamic. You slowly abandon yourself while trying to earn someone else's affection. And the tragic part? The occasional validation keeps the cycle alive. A single vulnerable conversation, one affectionate weekend, one emotional confession, and suddenly you believe, see? They do care. But consistency matters more than occasional intensity. Emotional unavailability creates fantasy. When someone is emotionally unavailable, there are often emotional gaps. And the human mind hates gaps. So we fill them with fantasy. We imagine who they could become. We romanticize potential. We focus on tiny moments while ignoring repeated patterns. We fall in love with possibilities instead of reality. And because emotionally unavailable people rarely reveal their full emotional world, they can seem mysterious, deep, or emotionally complex. But mystery is not intimacy. Real intimacy is clarity, consistency, safety, presence, not confusion. Your self-worth becomes attached to their attention. This is where the addiction becomes dangerous. Eventually, their attention starts controlling your emotional state. If they reply quickly, you feel wanted. If they pull away, you feel anxious. If they show affection, you feel relieved. Your emotional balance becomes dependent on their behavior. And over time, this can destroy self-esteem. Because instead of asking, is this relationship healthy for me? You start asking, how do I keep them interested? That shift changes everything. Healthy love expands your sense of self. Emotional addiction slowly erodes it. Emotional insight. The hardest truth about emotionally unavailable people is this: sometimes we are not addicted to them. We are addicted to the hope of finally being chosen by someone who struggles to choose us consistently. Because deep down, many people believe, if this emotionally distant person finally loves me fully, then I must be worthy. But your worth was never supposed to be proven through emotional suffering. Love should not feel like emotional survival. The healthiest relationships often feel unfamiliar at first because they lack chaos. They lack the emotional roller coaster. They lack the constant fear of loss. But peace is not boredom. Peace is emotional safety. And for many people, learning to accept healthy love requires healing the part of themselves that equates struggle with value. If this video resonated with you, take a moment and ask yourself, are you chasing connection or chasing validation? And have you been confusing emotional inconsistency with love? If this conversation helped you see your relationships differently, subscribe for more deep relationship psychology and emotional insight videos designed to help you build healthier connections and stronger self-awareness. And in the comments, answer this honestly. Have you ever mistaken emotional unavailability for love? Emotionally unavailable people feel addictive because uncertainty creates emotional intensity. But intensity is not always intimacy. The people who truly love you won't leave you constantly questioning where you stand. They won't make affection feel like something you have to earn. Real love is not built on confusion, emotional starvation, or endless guessing games. It's built on emotional presence. And the moment you stop chasing unavailable people, you create space for relationships that actually feel safe, mutual, and real. Because the healthiest love of your life will not feel like a battlefield. It will feel like peace. Drop a heart in the comments if you're done with emotionally unavailable people and subscribe for more modern love decoding.